Right, guys, back in South Florida, back in home base. Vegas was fun. Vegas was a lot of fun. Came back with a good bankroll booster, 19K, can't complain. Definitely a good score there. It got me thinking a lot though, like tournaments versus cash games. You know, tournaments are a grind, but it's such a rush when you're getting down to, you know, the last couple tables in a tournament. It's super exciting, and I don't think anything in poker can replicate the excitement you feel in those moments. But also, you have very long days where you don't cash, so that's also one of the things which is very frustrating. But cash games are more profitable on a weekly, daily basis. So that's one of the things I've been thinking about. I'm like, I don't know how a tournament player could day after day after day just grind so many hours straight and a lot of times not get a reward. I do think tournament poker is a lot more fun than cash game poker, but I couldn't see myself just being an exclusive tournament player, and there's some guys out there like that, and that's tough. I don't know if I'd be able to do that. Yeah, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think, and you know, if you guys prefer tournaments or cash games. So vlog number 8, here we are. Now, I realized something today. We have not lost on the vlog. That's a great thing. I feel like I don't want to let my subscribers down. Like, I don't want to lose. I never want to lose, but I feel like in these cases, I just want to make sure that, you know, the run good continues for the vlog. So there's been 4 cash game sessions and the 3 part videos that I did for the WSOP event that I won the 19K, and that was a win too. We booked a winning session. Obviously, I don't think we're gonna have a profit higher in the vlog, and if we do, well, I'm sure you will hear about it, and I'm sure I'll be super happy. It's kind of dark here, guys, sorry about that. We're coming in now to the casino, so you can see ahead. It's kind of loud here with the music, so give me a second, guys. I'm gonna have to switch spots. There's 2 5 games and 5 10 games. There's a bunch of tables. I think there's 12 2 5 tables and about 3 5 10 tables. So the games are really good here tonight. There's a lot of action. Can't wait to jump in. You know, can't wait to get all that tournament bust out poker players' money. You know, they love to jump in the cash game after they bust a tournament, and you know, they're either fuming or pissed or they're looking to gamble it up. So that's where we swoop right in and get all the money. So we hope. We don't want to jinx it, like I said. We haven't lost on the vlog, so I don't want to get too cocky, but if we play our cards right, no pun intended, should be a good session. All right, guys, I'm gonna get in there and walk over to the poker room now, and let's see what happens. So I ended up jumping in the 2-5 game after about an hour of waiting. And this hand right here is the most insane hand I have ever experienced in my 15 years of poker. I've never seen anything like this on TV, online, in any table I've ever been. And I was directly involved in this hand and I want to share it with you guys. So everybody was pretty much straddling at the table. So I was on the button and I decided to, yeah, why not? Let's do a straddle. So I straddle to 10 and the cards come around and I have a horrible 9-4 offsuit, and the player in mid position calls. Pretty much everyone folds to the button and it's on me. I decide to check, and it's just the big blind, middle position, and myself going to the flop. So the flop comes out and it's 8-7-5. 2 diamonds, 8-7 are diamonds, and I have a gut shot and I have the 9 of diamonds for runner straight flush. Not much, but I do have some outs. And the big blind bets 20, middle position calls a 20, and I decide to call it 20 to see what happens on the turn. The turn comes and it's a 7 of spades, and the big blind checks and the mid position player checks. At this point, they're showing some weakness, so I'm like, let me take a stab at the pot, see if I can get them to fold. You know, I could be representing a 7. You know, any pair I guess I could represent on that board, and you know, so I throw out about a 60. The big blind does call, which has me a little bit curious, and the middle position player folds. At this point I can put him on some draws. There's diamonds, there's, you know, a straight draw, you know, he could maybe have a 7 in the big blind as well, but we'll see what the turn, or the river brings actually. And this is where the hand becomes insane. The river comes and it is a 3 of hearts. Pretty much a brick. No flush got there. The straight 7 5 6 4 could have got in there, but he checks. So he's checked the turn, checked the river. He's showing weakness at this point. The pot's around 200, and I decide to put out a bet of 100. I'm not winning with 9 high. I put out the bet of 100. He thinks for a long time and he says, "This is the craziest call I'll ever make." He makes the call, and what he turns over, I don't even think people on the table realized what it was. I was in shock. He turns over Jack high. Now, Jack high, not a full house, not 2 pair, not a straight, not a pair, not ace high, not queen high, not king high, Jack high. I've never seen anybody call $100. Just call anybody Jack high. It doesn't even matter the amount. I mean, I guess for $5 you would. This was crazy. Like, I still don't even know how to describe this hand. It's one of these things where, like, even if I'm bluffing, even if he put me on a 6 where I was open-ended, I could still have an ace in my hand, or a king, or a queen. Like, 999,000 times out of 1,000,000, I beat him. He was across the table. He read my soul. I can't even explain. Like, leave your comments down below if you've ever seen somebody called a Jack high hand. Subscribe and like, subscribe and like. No, but honestly, I don't know. I was at a loss for words. At this point, I don't know. I was lost. And he had his glasses on. I'm like, does he have like some special X-ray glasses? I don't know. I've never seen anybody call with Jack high. So yeah, let me know in your comments down below of maybe the sickest call you've seen. That was the sickest call I've ever seen. I can't even explain. This next hand, 8-6 offsuit in the cutoff. Folds around to me. I'm in late position. I'm gonna try to take the blinds and annies here in this 5-10 game. So I make a bet of 30. Button folds, small blind calls, big blind calls. I guess I gave him a good enough price, but that's fine. I mean, building a pot is fine too. So we're going to a flop, and the flop comes pretty good. 8, 7, 6. I flop top and bottom pair. Small blind checks, big blind checks, and I put out a C bet of $55. I like my hand, but there is straight draws, and you know, in the small blind, big blind, they can have pretty much anything. Seeing as my bet wasn't large enough to really get a read, so I'm thinking I may have messed up on the flop. Maybe I should have sized it a little bit bigger, but you know, sometimes you got to switch up your pre-flop bets. The small blind raises my bet of $55 to $205. Now, this seems like a rather large bet. If he has, you know, already a flop straight, you would think he'd want to reel me in with either a call or, you know, a small raise. But I can't fold here. That's too nitty. But I do think about it for a while, you know. There's a new fad in poker, the overbet, when you have, you know, a really strong hand. Just I don't think he's doing that here with a straight. You know, there's not a flush draw, so I'm gonna peel one off and see what the turn brings. You know, he could have a hand like 8-7, and then I could be pretty dominated. But you know, like I said, I think it's too nitty to fold, so I make the call and see what develops on the turn. The turn comes, and it's not a very favorable card. It's a 5. This basically puts out straight on the board a 9 or a 4, gets there. He ends up putting a bet of $340 at that point. My stack is around 800 or so, and I know at this point I either have to go with my gut and shove or fold. I can't call, you know, I'm going to be left with almost nothing, and it's a good turn card for him in the small blind, so I like to make the fold. Let me know what you guys think. I think, you know, there really wasn't any other option at this point based on, you know, I don't think he would be bluffing into me after I called the 205 on the flop. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you think, you know, 100% fold here or not. So I'm in the big blind with pocket 9s, and I'm gonna put some pressure on. I make it $170, really, you know, put the cutoff to the test, see if he has a strong hand, and he ends up 4-betting all in for $605. The button folds, the small blind folds, and I have a decision. At that moment, I started going into the tank and thinking, you know, it could be, he may think I'm bluffing, you know, trying to take it down. I don't have enough information. I'm stubborn in this hand. I put him on a specific hand. I put him on ace king, and I decide to make the call. The flop comes and it's 4, 3, 2, 2, ace. That's what the board ends up being. 4, 3, 2, 2, ace. I turn over my pocket 9s and he turns over pocket kings. Now I made a fundamental mistake here, and I realized it after. I didn't want to let go of the 170 I bet, so I put him on a range, and that's just a bad play. It's just a bad play on my part, and I'm not afraid to admit it. You know, he's crushing me with any pair higher than 9s, and I'm flipping in most scenarios. Rarely do I have him beat, only if he has like 8s or 7s, which usually 4 bets are strong, and I was just stubborn in that hand. I really should have folded, and you know, you learn. So on to the next one. In this next hand, I pick up pocket rockets. That's right, the best hand in poker, pocket aces in the big blind. The under the gun player makes it 25. The under the gun +1 player calls it 25. It folds around to the button, who also calls it 25. Small blind folds, and it's back on me. Choice is clear, I'm raising. The amount is what, I'm a little unsure of what the proper amount is here. I end up making it $145, as I'm looking to go heads up or maybe with only one caller. I'm thinking at this table, if I make it 100, they might all call, and I don't really want to go four-handed even though I'm very strong. So I make it $145. The original bettor, who had bet $25, who's under the gun, 4-bets me to $325. Now this is a dream when you have aces, you know. You're getting 4 bets, so his hand's pretty strong, and you know, at this point you have the nuts pre-flop. Folds around to me, and I just shove all in for $505, and he calls pretty quickly. So we're going to a flop, and it comes 10, 9, deuce, 8 on the turn, queen on the river. I didn't like that river, you know, and the pocket jacks gets there, pocket queens gets there. I turn over my hands, and he turns over ace queen. So he made kind of a light 4-bet, I would say, and I guess he had to call my 5-bet at that point because it was less than 200 more to him, and the pot was, you know, a pretty big pot. But I'm pleased with the result to win with pocket aces there. You know, I definitely He must have thought I was bluffing. I don't think he seemed like a competent player. I don't think he would have played ace queen that way if he didn't think I was maybe raising him, light pre-flop. But happy to win the hand. This point of the night, the table got short. We were playing four-handed, and an interesting pot develops. In the small blind, and I have 6-6. The under the gun player bets $40 pre-flop, folds around to me, I call the 40, and the big blind ends up making it $125. The under the gun player calls, and at this point I'm getting good odds as I gotta call 85 more to win a pot that's gonna be close to 400. I'm set mining, I'm gonna try to hit my set. So I make the call of $125. We go 3 ways to the flop, and the flop comes 8-7-6. Bingo! I hit my set. There's 2 clubs on the board, the 8-7 of clubs, and I decide to check and let the pre-flop aggressor take a stab at it. The big blind, who had raised to 125, also checks, curiously enough, thinking he has high cards, and the under the gun player ends up betting 300. So he bets about 3/4 pot, and it's back on me. I have about 515 in my stack, so really there's no point in calling. If he bet 300, he's calling 200 more. Bluffing or not, he's probably calling. So I decide to shove all in for 515. Big blind folds. The under the gun player makes a call. Pretty confident right here. Kind of worried of a club, maybe a straight. But besides that, should be good if we can fade those cards. Turn comes a 4. River comes a queen. I turn over 6s, and before I even turn him over, he goes, "You're good," and he folds his hand, leading me to believe that he had clubs, and we scoop a nice pot there. Very nice pot. Put us back. We were in the hole for a bit there in that 5-10 game, so it was quite a roller coaster. In the final hand of the night that I played, I have 4-5 of spades under the gun, and decide to bet $25. It gets 5 callers, so I built a pot up. Let's see what happens. So we're going 6-handed to a flop. Flop comes king, 5, 4. It's nice when you raise and you flop 2 pair. I decide to check though, as there's a lot of players behind me, figuring one of them may have a king, and at that point we can put in the old check raise. Checks around, and the button does something very interesting. He overshoves and bets $420 all in. The pot's not even 200. So this is interesting because I had spoke about earlier in one of the hands about overbetting. This just doesn't seem like this would be a spot where he'd be that strong. This actually looks like a spot he could have a king-queen type hand and just wants to not see a turn. So I make the call. I'm not folding bottom 2. I'm likely ahead 90% of the time. He's not doing this with sets. Everyone else folds, and we go to the turn. The turn is an ace. The river is a 5. We hit our boat full house. We turn it over, and he shows the face of disgust, and he turns over king 4. So we actually got lucky on that river. That was a suck out that we needed, and I never put him on king 4. I guess he just called king 4 on the button just because all the action before him. That's not a typical hand most players would call with, but when you're playing 5-10, you see all sorts of things. So that hand was the last hand of the night. ended up being a roller coaster of a session, like I said earlier, because I played that 2-5 game. I had bought in for 1,000. I lost 500. I took that 500 to the 510, added an additional 700, so I was in for 1,700. You know, got down to like around $300 at one point, and ran my stack up to the sky, and ended up cashing out for 354 profit. And you know, it was another winning session. We barely made the vlog continue its winning streak, but still haven't lost, so yeah, can't complain. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the vlog. Comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Anything you want to see in the vlog going forward. Maybe you want less hands, more hands, you know, let me know. I'm always willing to take suggestions. Watch out for my next poker vlog coming to a YouTube near you. Peace out.